You're speaking at the ICSS convention here at the United Nations in Geneva, and again you've had some strong words to say about the global threat of match fixing and sport corruption, not just in football but in sport in general.
Well, I have, and I think the fact is that anyone who's an informed observer can come to the same conclusion. You only need to see the level of police investigations in individual nations to see the magnitude of the problem and the gravity of the problem across all sports. So it's no secret that it continues. The issue now is about finding the solutions and stop this nonsense of trying to find, compete with each other for solutions and competing organisations about turf, etc. This is a universal problem that needs a united front from everybody, and it's easily winnable, provided there is a united front and no contests about who does what.
The point's been made before that perhaps match fixing is not high on most police agendas, if you like, the list of crimes that they would want to solve, but then it's organised crime, and that really is very high, isn't it?
It's on the police agenda today. You can see that with the number of police investigations. You see it with the Europol report. You see what happened in Australia recently, arresting English players, for instance, for match fixing. This underlines the internationality of it. It underlines the police are doing something nationally. The problem is not the national response. The problem is the international response. I've said frequently that match fixing is global, big and organised. And in fact, the response must match that. It must be global, big and organised. We need a global approach, hence why we're here with the UN today.
And in terms of that, how important is it for the UN and national governments to adjust their laws, if you like, to have a more coordinated approach, some joined-up thinking?
Yeah, joined-up thinking is important. Harmonious laws, supportive laws around the world, legislation for or registration and regulations for sporting bodies also. There needs to be a concerted effort across all that, but most importantly, you need active preventative investigation. Police are somewhat obsessed with prosecutions, arrests and prosecution of people. The fact is we need to prevent match fixing, which means informing sport early, informing regulators early, and not holding these briefs for 3 or 4 years and prosecuting a few people for a few jail sentences. We have to stop this by getting the access of criminals prohibited by active prevention campaigns and preventative investigation at a global level.
And should the fact that they were English players who were implicated in Australia, albeit from lower leagues in England, should that be a warning sound to the Premier League and to the English Championship that the problem is not far away?
I think they've heard the warning. I think people recognise that this is a very significant development in match fixing investigations internationally, because not only were the players from England, regardless of their level, the conspiracy was from other parts of the world. This is a truly global crime, and this underlines the very nature of this insidious match fixing conspiracy.
And we've heard a lot from Italy today. They've obviously taken on it from a anti-mafia stance and had some success on that. So does that point the way forward?
Yeah, to a large extent, but as I say again, it needs a global approach. Single countries, even joined up countries, are not enough. The fact is that most of the money in this comes from Southeast Asia because of the amount of betting in Southeast Asia and the significant size of the betting market in that region. And this affects the European game, affects the South American game, and even the African game to a large extent. We're seeing really this is a totally global problem. And whilst the Italians may have, and the Australians also, use the right approach in terms of organised crime investigation, this has to be done at the global level.